Hello, and welcome to AU4H Radio Real Talk. And this is Laurie Ann Smith. We have Lee Roberts here, Donna Shear, and we're glad to be here. And this show is important. We decided to come and do this show tonight, and you can read the description. there's good reason for it, and you know we have several reasons why we wanted to put this show out here as we are right now tonight. But one of them is because last night when we ended our show, quite often we usually will sit afterwards, after the show is done, and we'll talk, just openly, sometimes about the show that we just did or the material that we were looking at, or we're just talking girlfriend stuff, you know what I mean? And we were thinking this is kind of what we'd rather do than to present the shows the way that we've been doing it, which I think are fine because they're informational, which is really important to get information out to people. But we're changing the format just a little bit, and we're going to get rid of the scripts.
Yes.
So, no more scripts. We're going to tell it like it is. I'm going to start tonight. I think we're all going to have our say. This show could be a little lengthy, but because I've got a lot to say. Over the years, advocating since 2009, really together, we've had a lot of haters. We've also had a lot of supporters. More supporters. Yeah, more supporters than haters, that's for sure. We've always had people who recognize what we're doing, but those people cared enough to look at who we really are as people and to see who we really are, and not make judgments based on one show that they see. They actually know who we are, so they appreciate what we do. And so this is what we're bringing here tonight. This is real talk because we're real people, and some of us are moms, some of us are grandmothers, we're advocates, we're wives, and we have a voice. It's just as important as anybody else's voice out there.
Yes.
If you're a hater and you choose not to listen, well, that's your choice. Move on down the road, because
turn the channel.
you don't have to listen, right? If you're not interested in what we have to say, please don't. Go on. Bother somebody else. Like I said in the description, I wrote that description just so everybody knows. And because I have something to say about this, we had some comments come back that, some were very supportive, and really we appreciate that because we have always appreciated the people that support us, because really we can't do anything on our own. It is truly the people that support us and back us up and join in with us to do things, to get these programs out and rolling, and all the volunteers that work with us and supporters that come along to back us up. You're the ones making the difference.
Yeah.
We're just a voice out here. So we're three women. We're a collective voice, but we're our own individual voices as well. And like Donna's well known, Donna Shear. I know you're really well known. You have been for many years, and you have a lot of supporters. And I mean, even myself doing what I do, I've had quite a lot of supporters over the years. But like I said, we've always had some negative feedback as well, and naysayers.
Yeah.
And people that sit there and will make comments like, for instance, oh, well, that's okay for you to say, but that's just because maybe you grew up in a big white house on the hill. And I'm like, I see stuff. Yeah. I mean, I see stuff like that, and I'm like, what a joke. You obviously don't know who I am or where I'm coming from, because otherwise you wouldn't say that. You wouldn't tell, if you knew who Donna was, how hard it's been for her, and what she's done amazing things, in her life, and she built it herself, like she did it herself. She put a lot of hard work into what she was doing and into everything that she was doing, and it really was hours and hours. We're talking years worth of hours of time invested to try to make a difference in this world, and Lee Roberts, the same thing. I mean, Lee has spent countless hours helping people, and helping survivors of abuse, right? Helping the homeless, helping people that are vulnerable in her community, in the deaf community. And like, she's an amazing advocate and an amazing person. And she didn't grow up on a fancy white house on top of a hill. You know what I mean? So I was a little put off with the comments that I saw, you know, and I thought, you know, okay, we've always been real. We've always said what we wanted to say. None of us have ever done a show, whether it was scripted or not, where our own voice wasn't coming through. And so, you know, I think this will be much better, this format, because we can really talk off the cuff. You know what I mean? And that's what we're going to do. But I just, you know, I'm introducing the show tonight because I was, you know, it made me angry when I saw some of those comments, especially not the positive ones. Those made me really happy. I thought that's wonderful. But some of those comments, I'm like, you don't even know me, you know? And you make a comment about somebody that you don't even know. You know, something that you're assuming, right? That, you know, a person's grown up a certain way, or a person's had so much in their life that they're not coming from behind the 8 ball. Anybody that actually knows me and knows my work, my name is Laurie Smith. I'm a survivor of child abuse in every way. And, you know, I'm a survivor of child rape, which caused me to be barren. I'm a survivor of extreme physical abuse, extreme psychological abuse, a lifetime of pain and horror. And, you know, somebody to sit there and assume something like that, it just bothers me. And for somebody to say something, you know, about Donna, it just shows me that you don't really know who Donna is. Donna and Lee both have been so incredibly kind to me, supportive, helpful, but not just me. I say that like because they've been really good to me as a person, advocating alongside as a sister. But the thing is, and as a friend, but what I see they do for other people, that's what I'm talking about. They do that for everybody that they know. And so when I see negative comments about people like Donna, I'm just like, you don't know her, but you think you do, but you obviously don't. So we're getting real here tonight. We're going to talk about the reality of this real situation that we are.
Yeah.
And, you know, sit back and listen. And if you don't like us, move on, you know. Go bother somebody else, like I said in the description.
Yeah, the comments, some of them were, you know, a bit upsetting. And in the past, I would have gotten really, you know, angry to, it's like,
yeah, me too.
Like a five-alarm fire angry. And I was like, I get a little upset at some of them. And it's like, well, who do you think you are? You don't know any of us personally. And if you do, and you're saying that, well, there's a problem with you, not us.
Right.
One, it's like we've all been through our share of trials. And for me personally, I mean, I don't live on a house. I live in an apartment. I have lived in a trailer. I have lived in a really nasty trailer, mold-infested trailer that started my lungs getting sicker. And it was infested in the walls with other things that we just won't go there. But stink bugs and mice, and think of their droppings. You know, it's like no wonder my lungs get sick. But I've also been homeless. Multiple times I've been homeless. As a single parent with a small baby, I was homeless. I've slept outside in a baseball dugout. Thank God that it was warm weather. Yeah, it was the start of the summer, and you know, it's like I didn't really sleep. It's kind of like one eye and holding him because he was less than 2 years old. Slept that way for a couple of nights, and somebody found out, you know, that's what I was doing. I was actually on my way out of state because I was running from my son's father. I was starting anew. But yeah, I mean, I've been homeless. I've slept in places that, you know, they're just absolutely horrible. Some scary places. So it's like, you know, we're not living in fancy places. We're not living in fancy houses. And, you know, for those of us, you know, who do have a home, you know, Donna has a house and that's her home, and she's been there for a long time. It's not like this mansion up on a hill, you know, surrounded by a gate, you know, you know, not rolling in
my
the
own limo at
snow.
the home.
You've got it buried in the backyard and you haven't let us know. I mean, really. So we've been places. There's something that came to my mind about that too. Really, I was saying, it's like, don't judge my life by the chapter you walked in on.
Exactly.
And that's true. That is so very true for every one of us. And we've all dealt with things. We've all walked through fires, and some of us are walking through other trials. And that's judging a book by its cover. That's making assumptions on something you have no clue about.
No.
And then there are some commenters who just have nothing better to do but ruffle everybody else's feathers. They're not happy in their own life. They're not happy with themselves. They just want to just create chaos everywhere. Some people, if there's no drama in their life, they're going to create drama because that's the only way they know how to live. It's sad and it's a waste of energy. It really is.
Right
I
on.
laugh at most of them. I get upset at a few of them. And it's like, well, wait a minute, how dare you? And how can you say that without really knowing, but there are people that are going to be out there like that. They're everywhere. They're naysayers, the haters. Haters going to hate. Let them hate. Let them go hate somewhere else,
Yeah.
That's right.
Really, it's just we've got to learn to let go of a lot of that. And it took me a long time. There are still things that really burn me up. But, but it's the trolls as well. And trolls are out there to do nothing but cause trouble, and trip people metaphorically, online. So, this is really good. We've done shows together, the three of us. We've done a lot of Blog Talk Radio shows, and we had a format that we went by. It was kind of like, okay, you're speaking, and this is what you're going to share about. And we'd have statistics and other information that we wanted to get out and share. And that worked fairly well, even though, we still weren't completely happy with it. It's talking off of a script, and it's difficult because, when you're dealing with memory issues, for one thing, as well, it's like I had that major brain fart, and,
We all do.
Happens,
the lovely commenter who understood migraines. Thank you. Yeah,
that's right.
A lot of
one
us
nice comment about that.
Been suffering for 30 years, going on 39 years with these things. So it's really brutal, and the memory loss that comes with it. Sometimes the transient aphasia. Personally, I feel like I'm an idiot. I can't remember what I was saying. I can't get the words out. I know what I want to say, but I can't talk right. I sound, I open my mouth and it sounds like something kind of coming out of a golden retriever. So it happens a lot, and it happens to a lot of us. And a lot of people don't talk about it because it's embarrassing. And it's absolutely, I was so embarrassed because it was on air. And it wasn't, we're on video. And so, yeah, I was definitely embarrassed. But I know that I'm not the only one experiencing that. And
that's right.
Grateful for having my mom's sense of humor, where I've been able to, okay, you laugh about things and kind of like move on. It's like, okay. There's so many things that people don't know about us. And yes, we're advocates, and we've been advocating, what feels like forever together with a little break in between, and then come back together like we had never been apart. There's so many different things. I like this, we're trying to find our groove. That's where I was at. We're trying to find our groove with this new platform, with being, on video and having discussions and chats, talking about social issues and what's going on, this past week or whatever. But, I think our groove is definitely not with the script because we've discussed that even from the beginning, that we weren't really sure about doing scripted wise. Yeah, no, mine's all over the floor. It's down there. And I kind of like that. It's freeing. There we go.
Yeah, very freeing.
Talk from the heart. And, if I happen to have one of those moments again, which is bound to happen, it's like, okay, somebody else take over now. So, and as far as I remember a comment off the top of my head about, are we survivors? Have we been in abusive relationships?
Yeah.
yeah, different types of abuse. I think the only abuse I didn't experience was spiritual abuse. Um, so, we'll just put it all in a nutshell. Abusive relationships. Oh, yeah. I mean, I left the house at 17 and a half right after I graduated. And I was still trying to find somebody to love me, trying to find somebody to take care of me, to protect me, something that my own father never did. And he never told me he loved me. I don't ever remember that. And, he was a very like handsy person. And oops, I didn't mean to rub up against you, there was a lot of abuse that I went through, more of a years of sexual abuse since I was young. And, the gang rape when I was 14 and, a couple more subsequent sexual assaults and one attempted, where the one attempted, I laugh now, not at the event itself, but how it ended. And it's because my son we were still living in Amesbury, Massachusetts, and he was less than 2 years old. And I had a teenager at the house, at the apartment, and she was keeping an eye on him. And I kind of went down to McDonald's and I was getting a coffee because I didn't have any coffee at the apartment. Well, I was tired, so I thought I would. Those were the days when you could hitch a ride and parents be okay. But I'll tell you what, I had a jumbo coffee. All right. And this person picked me up, happened to be a male, long stringy hair. I remember exactly what he looks like. But he gave me a ride. And then as we're starting to, head in the direction of my apartment complex, he starts attempting to unbutton my jeans and get under my shirt. And I did not think, I just did. Because what I did, all of a sudden I take off the lid and I'm thinking, oh, there goes my coffee, right? Took the lid off and I poured it right on his crotch. Never seen anybody stop so fast in my entire life. I mean, boom. And I'm like, I'm shaking. I'm standing at the front of a door of some other building. And, that was the last time I hitchhiked. And I told the teenager, because she was a girl, I told her that, this is what happened. Please be careful. She said, oh, it won't happen to me. It won't happen to me. Well, I never thought anybody else, and, I never thought it would happen to me either.
Yeah. Right.
But I stopped that. And that was that was before the lawsuits for McDonald's for their scalding hot coffee. Well, it was freshly brewed. What do people think? I mean, it's going to be hot. So I don't think he was able to, utilize his personal equipment for quite a while. Gotcha. Maybe you'll think twice about touching somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I mean, it was like one after the other, after the other, after the other, and ending up in bad relationships. I've been physically assaulted. I have been, what do you call it, emotionally or psychologically dealing with, and as my son's father had put me through a lot of stuff, and he was, the first person that I met, I think, when I left the house, 17 and a half, trying to find goodness in somebody to take care of me. And I just kept ending up with really abusive males. I won't even say they were men because they really weren't. Men don't do that. Real men do not abuse people. They do not abuse women. And it's just, it's crazy. And there are a lot of things that I went through with him, and I'm like waking up in the middle of the night and, being raped by your own husband. And then I didn't know that it was called rape. And I learned that a long time ago. And yes, you can be raped by your husband if it's not wanted.
Yeah.
And it's taken anyway, it's rape.
Marital rape.
There was so much I went through with him and through other relationships. And that's all because I learned the greatest lesson of all with, I was married a few times and they each one lasted a year. So I took that abuse for a while, but got out pretty quickly. And the last one actually got himself killed. He drank 4 times the legal limit and tried to walk across a major highway that drunk in the pouring rain, major rainstorm about 5:30 in the morning. And so he broke about every bone in his body. But it was very physical with him. The thing I learned with that relationship, and he was 11 years my senior. The thing I learned with that was that I was looking for the love I was supposed to get from my father and all these guys who were all older than I am, older than I was at the time. But I was looking for something that I was never going to get, and I needed to let that dream go.
Yeah.
And I finally did that with that, with his death and with the end of that relationship. So, and it's there are things that I have lived through that, would make some people, I don't know. It was like there's just a lot of stuff there that I'm not going to get into with everyone out there listening. But to let you know, yes, I've been in abusive relationships, a lot of them, and the reason was I trying to find something, and I ended up actually getting guys who somewhat mirrored my father's behavior because it was something I was familiar with. It's like I didn't know what healthy love was. Did not know what a healthy relationship was with anybody, except my mom. My mom and my grandfather. My grandmother was amazing. I loved her, but my grandfather was my very best friend. And my life got shattered when he died of an aneurysm. Really, he went boom down and he was gone. And I was, 17 and a half, hadn't graduated yet. So, but he's the one that taught me that there is healthy love out there, that, that it does exist. So, yeah, for that commentator, I've been through it. A lot of us, we've been through the same, we've been through, not through the same, but similar abuses in some sense. Not all 3 of us here. I mean, I'm talking about in general in the world. We've all gone through a lot of things. You're not alone. You're absolutely not alone.
That's right.
So in this new format, I'm kind of like this, talking from the heart and sharing different things.
Yeah, me too.
We've been trying to work on finding that groove, and I think that we've found it with this. I think that we have. So, yeah, that was a comment that stuck out to me about the abuse. So I just wanted to share that.
Yes, I agree. Because I saw that comment too, and I was like, to say stuff like that, like I have my own followers because I do my own broadcasting. I've been doing it for years, talking about abuse, my own story, but not just my own story, but also just child abuse prevention stuff, survivor stuff, adult survivors. So over the years, I've done so much material on this stuff because I've been on my healing journey for quite a few years. And I've gotten so much support from people, like on my own stuff that I do. And, so many people have come by and once in a while I get some negative comment, like, you should do something with your hair. Your hair looks terrible. And I just laugh because I'm like, buddy, if you think that I give a beep about what you think about my hair, you can just go and like kiss my beep, because seriously, I don't care if you don't like my hair. You know what I mean? I'm talking about abuse. I'm talking about stuff that people go through that is so horrific that they basically want to kill themselves. I'm talking about stuff that is so hurtful and so sad. Like, if you're just concerned about my hair, it's obviously you're not listening to what I'm saying, so you need to go away.
Yeah.
Basically, that's how I operate. That's how I do everything that I do with advocacy work, because I'm like, you know what? If you don't like something that we're doing, we're not going to change just because you don't like it. It's like, too bad. We're not out here for a popularity contest.
No.
This is the issue, and that's the difference between people that are just looking for popularity and only want a following of people that want to kiss their ass all the time and, sit there, oh, you're so great. Oh, you're so wonderful. It's not about that.
No.
These are about serious issues that we're talking about. And like I said, when we first started this, if anybody watched our introduction show, which maybe they didn't, but then you should probably go back and do that, you'd see that we're not always going to talk about child abuse. We have
No.
got many different things we're going to talk about. It's just that we just introduced this new program that we've got rolling out that we think is very important because a little boy in Donna's area, very close to where she lives, was killed and murdered by an abuser. And no one did anything about it.
No.
And this is why we do what we do, because we care. If we didn't care, we wouldn't be doing it, obviously, because we're not getting paid to do this. We're doing this because we want to help make a difference in this world. You know what I mean?
I read through some of the comments and I honestly, I kind of laughed because I thought, really? Like, I've been out here a long time and is that all you really think about me? You know, you're saying I live in this big house on the hill and I have a grand life. Well, I'm very blessed, thank God. But in the same sense, you know, I've been in positions where I haven't had 2 nickels to rub together. Right. So people really, they don't know me and they don't know what I go through or what I have gone through. And, you know, you're judging me because I have a nice home or I have a nice car or I like nice things. Seriously, who doesn't in this world? And if you say you don't, you're lying to yourself. But I think the biggest thing that got me was like people were nitpicking about different things we were doing or different things we were saying. And I'll be honest, I felt like we were kind of bland because I've always been known to say, you know, whatever I want. I didn't care what anybody said. I didn't care what anybody thought. I mean, I would be like, you know, blank, have a nice day. I mean, it didn't bother me what people thought about me or said about me or whatever. And I laughed, but then I read through here and I thought, we're out here genuinely trying to help kids. We're genuinely trying to bring home missing people. And you're going to judge me on my car or my house or where I live. Like, does that really make sense? And what does that have to do with helping people? You know, and it doesn't. And I know that we all have followers and we all have people that love us and hate us. I mean, probably I have more haters than lovers, to be honest, you know, but yeah. And that's fine. I mean, I've said a lot over the years. I've done a lot. I mean, I've had radio shows removed off the air because of some of the things I said, which I hope I don't have that happen on this show now that we're under a new format. But I myself, last night after the show, we got talking. I did kind of feel scripted because I kind of thought, you know, like we're giving stats, which, I mean, everyone gives the stats. Everybody does this. Everybody does that. We were there. We were given the descriptions and the stats. And I felt like it was a bland version of what I wanted to do. And when we're sitting there talking on the after show and we're laughing and joking, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. I want to show people we're real people, because people see my picture in a newspaper or they see my picture on a book or on an ad campaign. And, you know, they kind of just think, you know, oh, there you are, all pretty today. Well, no, there's nothing pretty about what we do. And we always say how ugly child abuse is. And just like Lee, with the experience she had, no one should ever have to go through what she did. But we see that every single day. Yeah. So I just think some of the people that are judging us, you know, then if you don't like the topic, move on. No one's forcing you to stay here and listen. But for the people that really, like, they really was honest and they said, I love what you do. I follow you. You know, thank you for being a voice. You know, I appreciate that as well. But I kind of, on this show, I've done radio and it has been scripted right down to, you know, almost every word you're saying. I mean, you can throw in some things. And I know even last week, like I was talking about a specific situation. And I even said during the show, I know facts, but I'm not allowed to say. I have to be very careful what I say. I'm throwing it out the window. I'm going to say whatever the hell I want to say. And I'm not going to worry about what people think or say, or I'm not going to worry about offending a sponsor or a supporter. If you don't like it, then unfollow. You don't have to follow us. I'm not making you follow me. I'm not making you be a part of the team. You know, I mean, I'm just not, and neither are you or Lee. And it's the fact that we can't worry about making other people happy. We have to make ourselves happy first. So I am all in on this new format.
That's right. And it's really about, you know, when advocates come together to do this stuff, it's generally for a reason. Like, really, it's not like a talk show like we're going to talk about. If it was just a regular talk show with ladies talking about nail polish and stuff and the latest trends in makeup and stuff, Well, you would know that because the title would say like makeup tips from Laurie, Donna, and Lee. Like, you know what I mean? We're not talking.
Yeah.
It's obvious what we're doing out here as advocates, and many people, like we said, we have a lot of supporters who love what we're doing, and they share our stuff, and they care because they care about people and they care about children, and they want to see child abuse stop, and they want to see homelessness, you know, people not be homeless, and they care about people in general, right? And then you have these other people that could say, did you even listen to the show? Do you even know what we're talking about?
I know.
I guess not.
Some of the comments some of the comments didn't even fit the show last night. They didn't even fit the topic. They were just like all over the place.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, did you even watch it? If you're not interested, move on. Like I said, you know, go bother somebody else. Because seriously, we're on a mission, and we're not out here to please people. We're not out here to try to, you know, become popular with a certain set group of people or anything like that. We do this because we care. All of us are doing this we're not getting paid to do this. We're doing this for free, and we're doing this because we care. It takes time to do this. We take time out of our day to do this. We take time out of our day to help people when we can. I know I've got my own just sort of stuff that I do with child abuse stuff. I volunteer with the ASCA, Adult Survivors of Child Abuse and More Center program. I also now have a group going with SIA, that's Survivors of Incest Anonymous. And why do I do it? Because I'm not getting paid to do this stuff. It's because I care about people. So if you don't like me because I care about people, then I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So see, I'm not out here to please somebody. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not doing what I'm doing to please somebody. It's because we came together to do this to make a difference. And so, you know, it's kind of, you know, I think people actually think that we actually care about what they think, and it's like not really. I really don't. You know, I've had a few people, you know, on my own stuff, like I'm saying, because I've got my own whole thing that I do on my own. And anybody that actually follows what we're doing here would see my links and could check it out if you wanted to. You know, mainly a lot of survivors of abuse follow my stuff, and people that care about stopping and preventing child abuse follow my stuff. And you know, that's great. And the thing is I have a lot of support, but I do get some people that will make derogatory comments, and they act like their comments actually important to me. Like I actually care what they think. I'm like, now that's funny, because I'm like, I really don't. You know what I mean?
No.
Because I'm not out here to, I got to change this because I got to do this differently because this person doesn't like it. It's like, I better go dye my hair because somebody doesn't like my hair. It's like, oh boy, who cares? You know what I mean? I'm 55. Like, what do you expect? I think we're all really looking for our age, by the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We really are.
I think so.
We're all beautiful for our age. And anybody that doesn't think so can just stick it up the wazoo. That's what I got to say. So I was going to say a lot worse earlier. Let me tell you, I'm keeping it pretty toned down because nobody really wants to know what
But it's not about what someone looks like, or I mean, I've got some really nice comments on my watch and my bracelet and, you know, my jewelry, and hey, that's cool. And you know, I've had the comments about I have fake hair, I have fake teeth, I have fake other parts, and it's like, do you really care about that? I'm here and I'm out, and we are helping the homeless, and we're helping kids, and we're helping people that's lives are basically destroyed. And you're so busy picking apart how we look that you forget the work we're doing. And I don't care what anyone thinks or what anyone says or what they think I look like. I know what I look like. And it doesn't bother me. I like myself, and that's all that matters.
That's right.
You know, everybody has to be body positive. You have to be comfortable in who you are and what you look like, and that's it. And if someone don't like it, then buzz off, buddy, because nobody cares.
Yeah, that's it. And it's just, you know, like we do. I think, like I was saying when we first came on here tonight, you know, we all have a voice. Our voice is just as important as the next person. You know, you see all these people out here talking, and, you know, all over the world, people are talking, and they're talking online, they're talking video format, they're talking audio format. Well, our voices are just as important as theirs. And what
Laurie,
we have to say,
a lot of it, I think a lot of it has to do with, we were on the Michigan station for so long, and we had a particular format that we followed, and it basically was scripted. And then we come on here and we're thinking we're going to do this show our way. And I wanted it to be something that was us. I didn't want it to be scripted. I didn't want to have a format. I didn't want to follow everyone else. I wanted to kind of have us come on and just have a conversation.
Mhm.
And I even found myself, like I said, a couple times I thought, okay, this is kind of bland. I'm reading off of a card statistics, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. Hey, let's put the statistics down in the comments, or the links down in the comments, and let's just keep it real. Have a conversation. That's what people want. People want real talk, because I don't really think people are relating when we're reading statistics or signs and symptoms. I think people want to know what you experience, what you go through, how you feel. You know, I mean, I've never had a situation like Lee. I was very blessed. I married my first boyfriend. We were together over 30 years. I mean, in that sense, I never experienced a lot that she did, you know? So like, and even myself, when she says it, or the other day when I was reading through your book, you know, I was reading things and I just kind of sat there like shaking my head thinking, you know, geez, like I was so blessed. And I started all this because a friend of mine's daughter was sexually abused. That was how I got into child advocacy. I became a voice for that child. And from that day on, that was all that it was ever about, was helping kids. It didn't have to do with, you know, I have 10 books out, or I'm on the bestsellers list, or I'm on the worst sellers list. That never mattered to me. To me, it's about helping people and making a difference. And no, we're never going to help everybody. And, you know, and everybody's never going to support you, because for as many people that like you, that just as many hate you. But those haters, I mean, they think you're great. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Well, that's good.
excuse me.
That's good. And
I wanted to say we've done a lot of advocacy work over the years, and you know, we each of us, we've been advocating separately and together for a long time. Excuse me. And with the experiences that we bring to the table, collectively, we have become far better advocates today than we were starting out.
Yes.
We've learned so much from each other. We've learned so much from other survivors, other advocates that we have connected with, that we have worked with. And you know, we're finding our own groove. But this is it, you know, with the no more script. Excuse me. We will always stand with, you know, with other survivors, with helping to protect children, helping to protect animals, standing with other survivors, and supporting others with chronic and invisible illnesses. And, you know, we'll do it our way. We're real, we're raw, we're down to earth. And you know, we're going to do it our way. And there will always be somebody out there that doesn't like it. They'll find something to pick on, like Laurie, your hair. I mean, come on. You've got something, so they're going to pick on your hair. You've got some hair out of place, or, you know, it didn't quite make it to get fixed. You know, I've had people choose to berate me and tear me up for having such short hair. And also, it's like my late husband was like, the first time I got my hair cut extremely short. Now it was just a little bit longer than this. And he looks at me and says, well, now I'm not going to know if I'm in bed with a man or a woman. I'm like, seriously? I'm like, you got to say something. He was rude. He was really, really rude. But I learned the greatest lesson of all from that relationship. So, you know, for that part of it, I'm thankful. But I kind of like looked at myself and I'm going, you know what? You get the problem.
As far as I can tell,
there's going to be somebody that's going to pick on.
They're here.
I don't like that. Gray doesn't look good on you. That's, you know, you shouldn't be wearing that doing the shows. Or, you know, you fix your glasses too much. You do this too much. You know what? We're not here for accolades or, you know, from anybody. We're here to create awareness, to share and support others. And
right.
that's, and we'll do it the way we do it.
Exactly.
Whether they like it or not, like I said, there's always going to be somebody out there that's going to complain about something.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not decked to the nines. We're not all in makeup. Not everybody wears makeup. Not everybody wears all, fancy dress where I don't have any designer labels. Sorry. My designer labels come from Walmart or the thrift store. Put some good clothes there, I'll tell you. But, it's not about what shirt we're wearing or what clothes we're wearing. Or you get $300 sneakers, man. No, $20-something at Walmart. Yeah, that's good. That works for me. Bare feet, sandals, work boots, or sneakers. I'm good. And it's ridiculous. They want to pick a fight, and it's become so much worse this past year. And we're definitely not going to be talking politics, anybody. So
definitely not.
Because of the virus, everything has gotten and people like, you get stuck at home, you've got to quarantine, or for me right now, I'll go out, but I consolidate my trips. I'm all about consolidating trips anyway. It saves gas, saves time. And personally, with fibromyalgia, it conserves my energy. It conserves my spoons. Some days we start out on a low spoon supply. So it's just not bending to others' expectations for our show and for what we're doing. If they don't like it, they can keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Really, don't feed the trolls.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
Not after midnight, not in the morning, not in the afternoon. Don't feed the trolls. I made a comment once, and this was probably about 6 months ago. No, it wasn't even that. It was when a certain person got the virus and tested positive, and I made a comment on an article by our local news. And I'm surprised he didn't get sick sooner. And I'm telling you what, nowhere in there did it say I was happy that someone got sick, because I would never wish that on anybody. But I'm telling you what, they came out like cockroaches.
They do.
You flip on the light, they all came out, man, and they were just tearing me up. There were 2 people that supported me, and it's like, and I'm like, go back and read it again, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't say that, not even close.
People are so quick to judge.
One of these, and I walked away from it, and I don't comment on things like that anymore. News articles and such, I'll click a like button if I like the article and it's something really positive, and I'll share it. But other than that, I've pretty much stopped commenting on things because people are just
crazy.
They get crazy.
Yeah. You got that right.
It's like somebody flipped their switch and they've just gone berserk.
Yeah.
And they've got to find something to argue about, even if it's not there. And you can go back and you can read something. It's like, no, not even remotely close to what you think I said, what you're saying I said. So it's just, it's like, you got to learn, like, put the hands up going, okay, I'm out of here. I kind of had a conversation back and forth with a Facebook friend of a friend of mine. And it was about deaf people, and the person believed, actually, along the lines of Alexander Graham Bell, with the eugenics, and we're all supposed to be, hearing. We're supposed to be hearing people. We're supposed to be born hearing. And I had commented to this person that, God started me on my journey to deafhood when I caught meningitis that was nearly fatal. Hence came the glasses and started the hearing loss. And this person was like, we're all supposed to be born hearing. And it's just the comments and everything. This person was just not willing to be educated. They were not willing to even think about some of the stuff I shared. Mm-hmm. And it's just like I had to walk away from that one because it was back and forth.
No.
and trying to share information and educational information with them. And it just wasn't happening. So some people just can't be educated. They're not willing to. They
No,
are
it's true.
so very
And I mean,
rigid
everybody
where they
is
stand,
entitled
where
to
they
their opinion.
believe, what they think,
you know.
that they are not willing to even consider anything different than what's in their own head, you know. And some of it has to
There's a
do with
lot of
where they were raised, but this was an older person. This was, you know, this was an older person, not, you know, 70 or 80 kind of older, but definitely an older person. And I don't know, it's really hard sometimes to just walk away, because it's like, "Arr!" you know, and, you know, but think about it, it's like something
That was me
making out of
earlier.
my mouth.
It was all of us.
I was doing that.
That it shouldn't come out of my mouth.
It's like, okay, no, don't drop the F bomb.
Back, think about it. Yeah. Sometimes think about it for a couple of days before I comment, you know. It's taken me a long time to get there, but to do that, it's not easy to walk away. And when you're an advocate as well, it's like you really, you know, but like I said, some people aren't willing to learn. They're not willing to be educated. They just don't.
Yep.
So kind of like, you know, okay, on your way.
Get
And,
going.
yeah, right. You know?
Move along.
And, you know, when some people they just aren't willing. But there are things that we do as advocates, and we're going to go to the Community Kids Watch program for a minute. And it's our job as parents, guardians, and even some grandparents who do raise their grandchildren for whatever reason. It is our job to take care of those kids, to teach them right from wrong,
Yes.
to teach them how to treat other people, to be kind, to be compassionate. And, you know, yes, it all starts at home. It has to. It should start at home. Unfortunately, there are families where, you know, that's not happening. And it is our job, even if you're not a parent, it's our job to, you know, protect those little ones out there. You know, sometimes there are, you know, bad things happening at home. There is abuse, there's neglect, you know, and, you know, like Anson. And my heart just broke there. But we've got to be willing to step up and say something and be their voice. And we've become the voices for those who can't speak for themselves, or for whatever reason as an adult are not able to.
Right.
We're there to share their stories, to support them on a journey, and to help protect them. And these kids, they need us all. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to protect a child.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we are responsible. We are morally obligated to protect kids, whether they are ours or not, because they are ours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they may not be ours biologically or even in our family, but they are all our children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's sad that some people think the way they do, and it's like, well, yeah, not my problem, not my circus, man. You know, yeah, I kind of see that kid's got lots of bruises, and, you know, there's some things that don't look right, and I'm worried. But you know what? Not my circus, not my problem. You know, and next thing you know, you find out they died, or they've been put in the hospital. So before that happens, you know, before things get worse, it needs to be our problem. Every single one of us, we're obligated.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's right. And I think, and for everybody out there
who think that way, that it's not their problem.
Yeah.
And I take care of my own. I take care of my own, and people need to take care of theirs. Well, if they're not taking good care of theirs, somebody else needs to be, you know, keeping an eye on them and speak up for them somehow in the safest way possible. You know, if that means making a phone call, if that means, you know, connecting with someone, you know, who is a mandated reporter, and saying, hey, which, you know, and you can message us. at AU4H, and we can help you through that too. But we've got to speak up. We've talk to somebody, it's a mandated reporter, and maybe they can make the report, and get that call made. But we got to do something. Doing nothing is turning a blind eye, and it is allowing things to continue. It is allowing the abuses to continue, the neglect to continue, and allowing the unsafe conditions that some of these kids are in. And what's sad is that school is supposed to be their safe zone, and it is for a lot of kids that are being abused and neglected at home. Sometimes, kids deal with a lot of bullying, they deal with harassment, and they deal with sometimes teachers who don't really see. They don't see past, the smile that the kids are trying to put on their faces. Then, the bullying on the playground. Kids fighting is one thing. Kids will fight. My son had a friend in elementary school. They would knock the tar out of each other. Like boom, boom, boom. They'd both be down. 5 minutes later, they'd be friends again. It was, and although their friendship kind of, they went their own ways over time, that one relationship, I saw my son learn to stand up for himself. When he had his buddy. They fight still,
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, 5 minutes later, they're friends. But there's bullying that happens. It is not, bullying is not, as I always say, bullying is not a rite of passage. I got shoved around. In the girls' room, had smoke blown in my face and cornered by, multiple girls. And I'm like, because they thought it was funny. And I've also been shoved into a walk-in freezer, when I was in the food program, culinary arts. I had one girl who was a year ahead of me, and we connected after graduation. And she's like, well, you made it easy for them to bully you. And I'm thinking, made it easy? They shouldn't have been bullying me to begin with. That's not right. And would they have not bullied me had they known what was going on, what I was dealing with, but at home? Would they have known why I was so quiet, why I was so painfully shy and, back against the wall and kind of just watching everybody? We shouldn't have to take that into consideration before we just, or they shouldn't have had to, to know anything and say, oh, you're going through stuff at home. Okay, we're not going to bully you. Then we'll pick on this other kid. It's just, bullying is not a rite of passage, and it's something that needs to be stopped. And more schools need to do something about it. Although they're like, we can't always protect the kids. We can't always do this and blah, blah, blah. But some of those kids, that's their safe space. And school should be a positive place for learning, for growing, and having fun.
Unfortunately, it's not.
For some kids, it's not, though.
No, I mean, and not every school has those problems, but a lot of them do. And, that would have such, those problems to such a degree that it's a real, huge issue. But some of them do. I grew up in schools where there was gangs and all not elementary, but junior high and high school, where I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, had many different gangs, and there were always gang fights and sort of gang wars, and people getting, the police would be at the school with the tear gas and the, riot control and stuff like this. And there was always a lot of bullying and a lot of that kind of stuff going on. But the thing is, and a lot of it, ethnic bullying, you know what I mean? Because of the different groups in the schools, right? And, school should be a safe place, but it's not always. And then now you have to watch, because there's so many teachers getting caught now abusing children sexually and in every other way. But you see a lot of sexual abuse in schools now, that they're busting these teachers that are sexually abusing children. So it's not a safe place anymore. I don't think it ever was, but it's really not now. And school should be a safe place for children, but it's not. Home should be a safe place for children, but they're not. And that's the issue. So yeah, we can talk. We can talk from experience, right? And we do know what we're talking about. And it's the issue that we do care. And the reason that I'm doing this with people, I've had people ask me, would you still advocate if you hadn't been abused? And I would like to think that I would, because it's just my nature.
I think you would have.
Yeah, it's not just because of
Definitely.
abuse, fight to stop child abuse. The issue is I care about people. So I not only advocate, for against child abuse and for, to promote awareness and stopping and preventing child abuse. I mean, I kind of advocate for anybody who needs a hand, like for all human rights. I'm a big
That's how
advocate
I am.
for human rights. Yeah. Yeah. It's not just because, I've experienced a certain thing, even though I have,
That's myself. I didn't get in all this just for myself. I did it because in my heart I wanted to help other people. And it all started when I saw a friend of mine suffering from what her daughter went through. And I thought, no kid deserves to go through that. No parent deserves to go through that. And that was why I originally, really got into it. But as time passed, I mean, we got involved with helping the homeless. We got involved with the teen dating violence, the bullying, I mean, we've done so much. If you look on our website, you can see all the things that we've done over the years. And there's not just one thing that we do, or there's not just one group of people we help. We try to help everybody that we can. We try to be a voice to anyone that needs assistance. And I personally do not judge people. In this world, I see people as a whole. I see shades of gray. I don't judge. I just don't think that it's great that anyone really judges anyone or has a pick on anyone. I've been through a lot of valleys and trials in my own life, and it's hard. It is really hard, and sometimes it's really hard to talk about it. Like when we do some of the shows, like I share bits and pieces because me. I tell you and Lee everything, but I'm not a sharer with other people. I never have been. It's just by nature. It's just who I am. But I mean, everyone has feelings, and at the day, everyone, like you can, everybody will say to me, brush it off. You got big shoulders. I've had big shoulders for a long time. I've had big shoulders ever since I got started. And, but sometimes when you're really out there and you're trying to make a difference like we are, and then we get some of the negative comments like we did, and it's not even anything that matters. It's just like you said, your hair, or you touched your glasses too much, or, hey, nice watch, and it's like, you're missing the message. You're so busy worried about what we look like or what we do or what we have outside of our advocacy work that you're missing the fact that we're out here trying to help kids. But, in my community, I live in a small town, and the city is like 20 minutes away. And as many people as I help, sometimes you get very little support when it comes to advocacy work because it's like a dirty word. No one wants to hear it. No one wants to say it. But the minute that they have a problem, their kid gets hurt, they get abused, or they get sexually assaulted or whatever, I'm the first person they call. And then I'm like their best friend. And then it's like, after I help them, it's like, yeah, okay, see you later, And it's funny because it's like people don't want to support you until they need you. And then when they need you, then, I support you and I've always supported you. People should just genuinely care about people. And I know that was one of the comments where I said, we as adults should be role models. And how many people commented, I'm not a role model. I didn't ask to be a role model. Don't expect me to be a role model. Okay. Maybe not everyone is a role model, but in my world, I want people to be something that kids should treasure. I want to do things the right way so that my kids do it the right way, my grandkids do it the right way. That's kind of how I was. And I never called myself a role model. I'm just saying our actions and the things we do and the way we treat people teach our children how to treat people. So if your kid sees you smacking the hell out of your wife, what do you think he's going to grow up and do? Or what do you think that when your daughter's boyfriend starts beating hell out of her, that she's going to think it's okay because, hey, I saw dad beating hell out of mom, and that's just how life is. No, if my son laid hands on a woman, I would personally kick his ass. If I would. And
He'd be in trouble.
if my daughter was, like, if she would be that way to my son-in-law, I would have something to say, like, and it does have to do with the way that we present ourselves as parents, as people. I mean, come on, we're all aunts, we're all, grandmothers, we're sisters. It's like, come on, you have to want the best for other people's kids as well as you do your own. And if you don't, then, what kind of example are you setting? Like I said, I never
Well,
said
exactly.
that I'm a role model, you're a role model. But come on, set an example for children to kind of look up to. I'm not saying you have to go out and be Superman. I'm just saying, if you see something happening that's not right, or your son's beating the hell out of his girlfriend, come on, open your mouth and say something. Or you see Susie down the street is not feeding her kids, open your mouth. Maybe it's not your business, but if that child dies, can you live with the fact knowing that you knew what was going on and you just let it go?
Mhm.
That's how I look at it. And like I said, we had a lot of great comments. We had some very negative comments. A couple of them were addressed to me because I said about being a role model to kids. But I do think that people should present themselves in a manner that teaches kids to look up to them and have respect for them. But it also, kids grow up to be good human beings when they're adults.
Mhm. Well, this is it, and Donna. And the thing is like those comments about the role model thing, had me kind of like angry and pissed off because I'm kind of like, because some of the comments were saying something like, well, maybe we just can't be like you with all your high morals and values and all this. And, maybe you were born with that and that's just the way you are. Well, the thing is like, what it is I grew up abused, but both of my parents were my abusers, but both of my parents were abusing each other too. So I'm not telling a wah-wah here story, so everybody will feel sorry for me. What I want people to realize is that I've seen, a lot of really horrible, horrible stuff. Grew up in that. That was my life. I didn't know anything different, and it's like just the sheer, horror of watching, my dad, the way he treated my mom, and the stuff that my mom did to me, and my stuff that my dad did to me, all of my siblings, just absolutely horrific, And so for somebody to sit there and say, well, we can't be like you. Maybe you grew up with high morals and high values. No, I grew up in the pits of hell. That's where I grew up.
Yeah.
But I didn't stay there, and I chose not to stay there.
Exactly. You chose not to. That's
right.
The point. See, we're three different women, three different worlds, and we all grew up three different ways. We all have our own experiences of what we experienced over our childhoods, but then also as adults. But we're all different, and we all experience different things. And you can't look at me not knowing me and just like start making judgments or comments because you really don't know. And because I want my kids to grow up and be good people. You're right. I don't want my son beating his wife or his kids. No, I don't want my grandchildren starving. No, I don't want them to be homeless. Yes, I want them to have a good life. I want them to have nice things. If you're going to judge me because of that, then the problem lies with you, not me. I mean, that's how I feel.
That's exactly right.
And I think each of us, from all the things that we've been through with our life, I think that we are all different, but we all come out on top because we're all doing things to help other people.
Yeah.
You do your own child advocacy work, you do your Bible study, you do that. Lee's helping the deaf community. She's doing her part, helping the homeless. And I do my part, and like I said, we're all different, but we're all out there doing things to make life better for other people. And none of us are asking for anything in return. I mean, we're volunteers. We volunteer our time all the time, anytime we basically can. And like I said, we're not asking for anything in return. I mean, we're not even really asking people to support us. This is just our opinion and the things that we do in our lives and our personal time. And if people are offended by that, then, I could be offended by a lot of things too, but I'm not. I'm offended by, the price of gas is so high, or I'm offended because, I mean, it's crazy because everybody can be offended by something,
Yeah,
you know, uh,
that's right.
there's so many things that you can be offended by. And it's like, what's the point in walking through life and be offended by everything? Why not set out and make life good and happy? A friend of mine said to me one time, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? What's more important? And I said, well, I want to be happy. And she said, well, I want to be right. And it's like, I choose happiness, and I choose helping people, and the need to be right, really, it doesn't matter to me, because in my heart, I feel what we're doing is the right thing.
Yeah, that's right. See, now, I totally agree with you, but that's why we're all advocating together, and I know Lee would agree with this as well. Like the issue is that that's the whole. There's no other reason why we're doing this other than the fact that we really care and we want to make a difference.
Exactly.
And we're just doing it with the capacity that we have. My husband just passed away like 2 years ago. I'm living on like assistance, COVID-19, no job. I don't even know if I'll have my internet for another 6 months.
It's
But
hard.
I'm not just sitting around thinking about myself and somebody should be helping me. I'm out here trying to help other people because I'm like, hey, I know there's people out here that need help. And basically,
there's a lot of people,
Yeah.
My thing is be blessed with what you have and be blessed with the life that you have. We could all want more than what we have, or we could all want bigger lifestyles. But I really feel like I'm happy where I'm at, and I like what I'm doing. And no, life's not perfect. Life can be hard, and there's always going to be struggles. And hey, money's nice, but money don't stop problems. Money don't make your husband stay at home at night or not cheat on you or beat you, or, money don't make your kids do well in school. And a lot of people miss that. Everybody's so worried about, being one step higher than somebody else. To me, life's not about that. I didn't grow up rich. I can assure you I did not grow up rich, and it's like, so I'm one of those people that I'm happy with what I have. And I try to make the best of it. And I try to live life to the very fullest. But people judging me because of my house or my car, like, I'm sorry, and it's like, I'm sorry. There's really nothing I can say. Why do I have to be even sorry?
That's right.
Like,
shouldn't, and you don't.
That comment really bothered me, because it's like, I'm going to tell you what, we had worked hard our whole lives, and you're placing judgment. And it's like, so I know I had to be someone that knew me or knew where I lived or whatever, which is fine. But like, you're judging people, and life's hard. And trust me, life hasn't always been easy with me. I haven't had everything handed to me on a silver platter. And I think a lot of people out here, they look from the outside looking in, they think, oh, these people have it great. These people have great lives. These people don't go without. These people, you don't know me until you are around me. You have to really be in someone's life to know anything about them. You can guess, you can think, but at the end of the day, you really don't know. So, like I said, some of the comments did really, like, it offended me. I thought, wow, that's what people really think of, like, the message we're trying to deliver. And I get the fact that nobody wants to go by a script, because even myself, like, I felt very, very bland. I was telling a story last night, and I couldn't share names because we couldn't offend our sponsors, or I couldn't say places because we couldn't, offend certain supporters. And it's like, it's too hard. If this is the rule we're going to take, I'm out. Either we're going to do it the right way, or I'm not going to do it at all. And it was like, we were all thinking the same thing, all of us. But then I woke up this morning to 60 different comments, and I'm reading through them. And I love this, and how other people thought, I mean, they were worried about hair, and they were worried about watches, and they were worried about houses and moral values. And it's like, you're missing the point of what we're doing. We're not here. Yeah. I don't care about the stuff hanging on the wall. I don't care about the jewelry I'm wearing. I don't care what the hell my hair looks like, or if I touch my glasses 5 times. What I care about is we have a message to deliver, and it's all about the message, and it's about helping people. And that's the thing, helping people. we always say we are people helping people.
Yeah.
When we're helping different agencies or whatever, hey, I, roll up the sleeves and I'm helping just like anybody else. And for people to look in at us and say, well, they haven't done nothing, or, oh, they have a cushiony life. You have no idea what any of us are like other than what you see.
That's right.
And before that, we were behind a mic. So nobody really knew what we looked like, what we had, what we were. Now, all of a sudden, we're on video and everybody has an opinion. And it's like, you're judging me because I got some things hanging on the walls, or you're judging me because you think I have this big cushiony lifestyle, or you don't like my hair. Like I'm going to change my hair tomorrow because one person doesn't like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I mean,
it's your hair.
About hair, it was like,
you do whatever you want with it. That's right.
It's like, you really care about our hair?
It's just so stupid. I know. It's just like, give me a break. Grow up. Go away. You're a nuisance wherever you are. I have that stuff on mine too, on the work that I do with, adult survivors of child abuse, because there are so many of us out here, and so many people struggle, and so I just like to be a bit of support for people. And for the most part, I get a really kind comments from people.
Me too,
usually.
Me too, usually.
Yeah, but sometimes, you just get one and you're just like, what? You didn't even listen to what I said. You weren't even listening to what I was saying. It's like you're just judging me because of the way I look.
Yeah, like the comments. The
Too
comments
bad.
didn't even reach last night's show, other than everybody was so upset because, we said about it takes a village to raise children. And, come on, that's true. It really does. Yeah. And it's like, you're very upset because I said role model. And it's like, okay, but like, if something's happened, don't you really want your kids to grow up and be good, decent humans in society? Or do you want them to grow up and be gangsters and robbing and killing? And, I mean, the point is I think that kids should look up to adults. And that was the point about people helping people. But these people, they were just all over the place. And then it was, like I said, it had nothing to do with us at all. Or, oh, your hair, or hey, you touched your glasses 5 times. Well, I'm legally blind in my left eye. So yeah, so I have to wear, glasses or contacts. I'm sorry that I had to adjust them, but don't you touch your glasses in the day? And it's like, people were so focused on what we're doing or what we're saying. When we did radio years ago, they didn't see us. They heard, they followed us, they liked us, and that was it. And we went the #1, and I love that. Now we're doing this behind the scene thing so that people can see us on YouTube, which I love the fact that I get to see you guys in person. Like I get to share the experience with you now. It's a little bit better than it was before. But like, people's just going off the chain, worried about certain things. And it's like, you're focusing on all the wrong things. We're here about people helping people and about having a voice and having an opinion. And you're not worried about that. You're worried about what I'm wearing or what's hanging on my wall or where I live or her hair or, her glasses. And it's like, come on, that's not what we're here for, And like I said, if someone don't like it, move on, hit the unfollow button. Trust me, I've unliked it a million times.
That's what I do. If I'm watching something and I don't really particularly like it, doesn't pertain to me, I just move on. I don't sit there and say, you blah, blah, blah. Everybody thinks that their comment actually matters.
Well, it's like
all of our voices matter as far as a collective group.
But they're tearing 3 women down that they don't know.
That's right.
And it's like, you don't know anything about any of us, and it's like, so you'd rather tear us down than just turn the channel, and it's like, I don't. I am a very, if I don't like something, I'm the kind of person that if I don't like something, I turn the channel. If it's not my style of music, hey, I don't listen to it, I love to paint, but I'm not that great, like, I do what suits me. I don't destroy or try to destroy other people because I don't like what they're doing. I try to focus on what I do, what we do. Mm-hmm. And I try to find positivity in life. And some of the we had over 60 comments this morning. I could have probably read 100 more. And each one of them, like I said, we did have some great comments. I don't want to take that. But people were so focused on her glasses, your hair, my clothes, my this. It made no sense to me, because it's like, geez, you know, like, we're out here trying to give a message and we're trying to help people. And hey, I know it was feeling a little bland, because I thought it was a little bland too. And that's why the notes are in here, and we're not playing that game. We're not doing it anymore. But it's just the fact. It's like, stop judging us. Stop trying to tear down something that other people's doing. Support people. And if you can't support, there's the door. Keep going.
That's right. That's right. Because there's, you know, not everything is for everybody. You know what I mean?
No.
Not everybody likes my personal stuff
Well,
that I do.
My sister said to make sure,
anything else, you know.
My sister told me to make sure that these people don't get me on a rant, because they're not going to want to hear it. My sister said once I get going, it gets worse. So she's like, I hope they quickly move on with this, because she goes, they get you ranting and raving, they're done.
Yeah. Well, I know, and Lee was telling me earlier, you're not going to cuss on the show, right? Because I was mad. I was like, give me a break, you know.
Well,
not the stuff they were saying about me, because they weren't really saying it, but the stuff they were saying about you, because obviously they don't know you.
Well,
because if they did, they wouldn't be saying stuff like that.
Well, see,
and that's why I'm like,
yeah. Well, see, the thing is I used to write a column called My 2 Cents in Clinton County. And I had that column for close to 10 years. And people would like throw a topic out, and I had to give my opinion about it, you know, and I did. And a lot of times, a lot of people didn't agree with me, but I didn't care. That's what I thought. I mean, that's the thing of opinions. Everybody's got one, and you're entitled to what you think. But if I'm a columnist and you're asking me what I think, and I'm telling you, well, once I tell you, you can't try to tear me apart because I told you. But the guy actually, he knew me very well, but I didn't say the exact words he said. I would just basically say, you know, well, he had to be like, blank you and have a nice day. That would be my comment. And it's like, yeah, if people didn't agree with me, it was like, okay, whatever, you know, see ya, have a nice day. It's not like they have to agree 110%, because trust me, half the people that write out there, I don't agree with what they say. I mean, half the things you're here on TV, I don't agree with. I don't. And I just found it like funny, because I thought, boy, you know, you've been following me a lot of years, that you know that was the attitude I had clear back when I was a columnist. And hey, I really appreciate the support. But again, he was saying like, the show's bland. You're not yourself. Be your true you. And that was kind of what you and Lee and myself had said last night. You know, we got to be true to self, and we got to do it our way. And if our sponsors or supporters don't like it, then, you know, it is what it is, because we can only be ourselves. We can't change who we are. We can't read from a piece of paper to make other people happy. And I'm not going to. I mean, I'm not sitting here like in my underwear or anything to offend somebody. You know, I mean, I'm here trying to share, trying to be productive in society and make a difference and help people. My thing is I want to help kids. And whether you support me or you don't, I don't really give a shit. I mean, bottom line. I mean, that's it. And like I said, in my own community, I get people that there's ones that have followed me for 20 years and I'm thankful and I respect that. But then there's also the ones that they don't know who you are until they need something or they need help. And then all of a sudden it's, hey, you know, they'll message you. Hey, can I have your number? Or, hey, can you, do this, or can you do that? Or, hey, can you go to court with us? And it's like, okay, now I'm good enough because you need something. But before you can't support children, or you can't put your name on a petition, or, but I do want to thank the person that left the comment about the work we did with Connor's Law, because Connor's Law, I totally support. And that took a lot of work and a lot of time, a lot of signatures, a lot of behind the scenes work. And for that person, I thank you for really being a follower, because you've been with us for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And with all the negative, Laurie, there was much positive. So if the haters really
that's right.
But it affected us, it didn't. And you'll see me back here next week, so I'll show you how much I really care what people think.
That's just the issue. And I'm probably going to look just about exactly the same. So not much is going to change. I'm saying, like, we are who we are.
Well,
You either like us or you don't.
Today I'm very casual, but in past shows, and even when we were on the air and behind the scenes, I always tried to like really like dress nice or whatever. But it's like, come on, it's COVID. We can't be in the studio. We're working from home. You know, what do you want me to do? Like, and I'm not going to have my hair styled and have a makeup artist just for, you know, the behind the scenes of a talk show. It's pointless and it's silly. And like I said, if the only reason why people follow us is because of what we look like or what we sound like or how your hair is or how Lee's glasses are or my whatever, then they're the problem, not us.
That's right. That's right. That's why, I mean, I did mention that, you know, we appreciate all the support and, you know, the people that have supported anything that we've done in the past, and that's wonderful. And we do appreciate you very much. You know, it does make a difference, and we do, you know, like we're always happy to have support from people. And, you know, for the people that don't like us, we don't really care. You can just motor on. You know, I was going to say like F off, but, you know, I decided to like not cuss on this show. But the thing, you know, the issue is that was keeping it cool, F off, because that's just how I feel. You know, if we were actually that thin-skinned that we were worried about what somebody thought, we wouldn't be doing this in the first place. You know, the reason that we do this is because we care. We're putting ourselves out here to do this stuff. People, you know, for this type of stuff that, you know, if we were really truly worried about our reputation or, oh, you know, if I say this or if I support stopping child abuse, people won't like me, or, you know, if I do this or if I don't do that, it's all about the fakie, you know, oh, if I do this, they won't like me and I won't have any supporters. And it's like, who the hell cares? You know what I mean? You want to talk about real, we are real.
Well, that's the thing.
We've always been real.
People want you to be real, and they want you to say it the way it is. But then when you do, they're offended. How dare you say that? Why did you say that? How could you say that? And it's like,
you can't please them either way.
No matter what I say, I'm not going to win because I'm going to have these people support me, and over here you people aren't. And it's like, I don't know. I built a career on saying what I wanted to say when I wanted to say it. The last couple shows, I wasn't myself, and I did not feel comfortable. And I just got to come out and I got to be me. And if people like it, they like it, and if they hate it, they hate it. And I mean, that's just the way it's going to be, because I can't be something I'm not. And I can't make people happy. I'm not going to even try to make people happy. I have no reason to. The only person that I need to make happy is myself.
That's right. That's right. You know, and we don't, like I said, if we had any other kind of reasons for doing this stuff, it'd be pretty evident that we wouldn't be, if we were trying to be famous or something, or we actually gave a shit what somebody thought, we wouldn't be advocating for, you know, to stop child abuse and all of this stuff and all the other programs that we do and have done in the past. And the thing, because that's not a popular thing to do. It's really not. No. So that's why if people think that by making a comment like that comment actually, those negative comments actually matter to people like us, they really don't. It's like I've had, you know, people over the years, you know, I've been speaking out publicly about the abuse that I suffered as a child. Wrote books and everything with the help of Donna, who actually was originally the first original publisher of my books. And, you know, got busy, started talking publicly about this stuff in 2009. And so, I mean, that's a long time ago. And I've heard just about everything from everybody that you can think of, mostly positive, but some really stupid stuff too. And I'm like, if you think that I'm going to shut up and like go away just because you don't like me?
No.
Sorry. Too bad. Like
they don't know you.
You know what I mean? And like that's what we said a long time ago, way back 2010, 2011. We were like, we have work to do. You know, this is an important job, and we're gonna run into people that don't think it's important, that they think that's perfectly fine, that children should just be abused, and who cares? And you know, there's always going to be those very sick individuals. And you know what? Go away. You know what I'm saying? If you don't care, and you don't care, and you think that stuff is okay, we don't want you following us anyway. Go away. Right. We have people that support us that care about children, and they care about the homeless, and they care about, you know, issues that are real and facing our, you know, teens today, bullying, teen violence, teen dating violence, all this stuff. the LGBT, all that stuff, it all matters.
Yeah.
And all these people have feelings just like we do. All these people are suffering and hurting. And so what we decided that we're going to try to make a difference. And then we have people running us down because we're trying to make a difference. And then people would think that we three actually give a shit. So that's what I'm saying. I promised I would be very cool tonight and I wouldn't cuss and, make a big scene. But here's my big scene. You think we actually give a shit? We
No.
really don't. We care about you because we care about the people who really that need help. We don't care about losers who think it's perfectly okay to abuse children.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, we're not out here to please people. That's the whole issue.
Laurie, I've never been a people pleaser. I've never been a people pleaser. And my mouth has got me in trouble more times than I can count. But I'll tell you, for the people that don't like a lot of what we do or what we say, every time we bring home a missing kid, come on, do you really think I care what you say? Or, your comments because we talked about the missing or we post so many missing posts. I mean, we have people complaining because the girls that work behind the scenes, they're posting 10 and 15, like pictures of kids a day that are missing. And they're unhappy, they're mad, they're upset, and it's like, okay, but if that was your kid, would you want your kid brought home? Or do you want them out there missing? And I can safely say, we have assisted many times on bringing children home, especially near my area. So it's like, I don't care. I don't care if you don't like what I do. I don't care if you don't like what I say. We're making a difference with these people. We're making a difference with kids. So, and Leach works big time with the unidentified, and that's her, that's her thing. And she has a huge voice for that. And, I support her 110%. So if somebody has a problem with that, that's their problem. That's right. Like I said, we only can be who we are. As my grandmother used to say, you are who you are, and no one is going to change who you are unless you allow them to. And I'm not allowing anyone to change me. This is going to keep talking until the day I can't talk no more.
That's exactly right. This is it. And it's like me,
unidentified persons are just, it'll blow you away. But we can talk, I can share more on that in another show. But it's mind-blowing, the numbers, the statistics, and when you actually see and know that people have been gone unidentified for not just for months, not just for years, but for decades. And, men, women, and kids, as a child that's been still not identified, and his body was found before I was born. There's just still, it's mind-numbing.
It is. This is the thing.
It is.
And they're unidentified for many different reasons. So,
But why does it offend people? Like that we want to help bring these kids home, or we want to find closure with these families. Like, I don't see what that has to do with anybody else or why people are offended. If that was my child and they were missing, I'd want them brought home. And I know everyone on the planet would. Well, maybe not everyone, but most everyone. And if my child was gone and unidentified, I would want them brought home. I'd want closure. I think most people would. Like I said, there are people out there that I have dealt with in the past that, hey, it's my kid. I can beat them. I can starve them. I can do sexually what I want with them, when I want with them. You don't know how many times that I've been to court and I've literally heard people say this. And I'm sitting there and I can't even begin to comprehend like what they're saying or what they're doing, because it's like, to me, that is just, it's sick. It's sick behavior. And it's
wrong. It's illegal.
Well, but it's hard to comprehend because you're there and you're trying to do good. And then you have these people over here, like, they don't care. And they feel like it's okay that they hurt a child or kill a child or abuse a child or, or remember, Laurie, years ago, we did the story about the little boy that took the muffin off the stove and he was killed for taking a muffin.
I'll never forget that. Yeah.
And it's like, so a child deserves to die because he took a muffin off the stove, and it's like, people they don't get it. And I don't even think it's that they don't get it. I don't think they care, because we live in a world where we can't hurt anybody's feelings, because if you hurt my feelings, it's over. I'm sad. I'm going to complain. I'm going to cry. Like, we have to be in this world where we can't offend anybody. We can't hurt anybody's feelings, but they can offend you and they can offend your beliefs, but don't offend them, because if you do, you cross the line, and now, it's on.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's
like
ridiculous.
I said,
and the issue
I
is
don't
that
know.
child rights.
People are always going to find a reason to be offended. They're going to find a reason to argue.
Yes.
And there are people out there that don't want to hear the truth. They'd rather believe the lies that are out there. And
yes.
Some media and, some news stations help perpetuate that. I mean, they're misleading headlines, the misleading stories. But Facebook, social media in general, people are more apt to believe something because it's out there on the internet. And so-and-so shared it, who shared it from somebody else, who shared it from somebody else. And they just share it and don't research, well, is there any truth to that? And we're like, no. There was a story shared, and it had to do with Oprah and an interview she gave to a couple of young men who, stated they were abused by Michael Jackson. It was like an hour-long interview, but this piece that was shared on Facebook was just like a few minutes of that clip, and the person is like, well, this is true. Oprah's a pedophile. Otherwise, how would she know, how pedophiles act and what they do, and and how they groom them? And I'm like, you know what? She's a survivor, and you're taking this out of context. This is a whole hour-long interview. You're just sharing what somebody else shared, and on down the line. And this is the truth. She's not a pedophile. She's a survivor. She knows, because she's a survivor, and she's done a great deal of research, and she has spoken on that multiple times. And they just could not grasp that. Well, how do you know? How do you know? It's like, well, I do my research, and so it's sad that you got to just stop telling people that something's not true, and you're only sharing, like, there's a grain of truth in that, and the truth that, yes, she knows how they operate because she's a survivor. We as survivors know how the child molesters groom kids, and that can take they take their time if they're really interested in a kid, and they will take their time, and they will do what they need to get close to that kid, to get their trust. But so we know this, but that doesn't make us abusers. Yes, there are some people who have been abused who in turn perpetuate that onto their own children, but that's the
not always.
minority.
Not always.
Most of us become,
That's right.
We become advocates in one way or another, and sharing our stories, and
That's right.
it's we just
make
can keep doing what we do, because like I said, the haters are out there, the naysayers are out there, but we don't do it for them. We do it for, we do it because it needs to be talked about, and to hopefully one day stop all abuse from happening. I mean, I'm not sure that will ever happen, on this earth.
Wow.
But we can do, and I'm going to use the H word, we can do a hell of a lot to bring those numbers down.
Yeah.
Standing together, speaking out, sharing, creating awareness, supporting others, and sharing resources, which is one of our big things. So, yeah, we got to keep on doing what we're doing. We tell the truth with no apologies, like Donna says. It's like, no apologies. And we don't sugarcoat the truth. We don't.
Never.
We're not going to go into gory details on things, but if it's a truth, we're going to tell it like it is. That's what we're all about, keeping it real.
Because
Now,
truth is
these are my sisters. These are my sisters. This is what I'm talking about. We keep it real.
So
that's right.
We don't do things for other people, not to, get their, oh, good, this was good, you did it the way I was hoping you would do it. This is the way to do the show. This is the way to speak out. This is what to say, or how to talk about or bring awareness to, this particular topic, or the abuse, child abuse, neglect, whatever, animal abuse. We do it the way we do it. We do what works best for us. We share our stories. That's just who we are, who we'll always be. No apologies.
No apologies. We can't do what other people want us to do. We can't do what our sponsors want us to do or what our supporters want us to do. We have to do what we want to do and what our heart tells us to do.
Yeah.
And like I said, and like Lee said, no apologies. I won't apologize for being a voice. I won't apologize for speaking out, and I won't apologize for being me and keeping it real. And like I said, if they don't like it, move to the next.
That's right.
I've said
what I say
for years, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way, and that's the way we were when we all first met in 2009. Nothing's changed. I don't know why anybody would assume that anything's changed. We've all gotten a little bit older, as everybody can tell, since 2009.
Yeah. You can
The
tell.
picture that I put on this video for the thumbnail is from 2010 from State and Fate Paso Robles, the State and Fate of Children's that film festival that we were invited to. We were a lot younger then.
Yes,
that was like, that was 11 years ago. We're 11 years older. So maybe we're a little 11 years more milder. But that doesn't mean that anything else has changed. If anything, the sincerity and the goal behind what we're doing is even more important now because of our ages. Some of us, like I'm getting up there. You know what I mean? And a lot of us, like out of the three of us, we've all had health issues. Out of the three of us, there's only three of us here. We've had health issues, and there's been things come up that have made me want to get things pushed. We got to get this done. We got to get this done because I don't know how many years I've got. None of us do. Yeah. And my whole thing was I wanted to be a voice and to make a difference. For in this world somehow, in any possible way. So I try to help people from committing suicide. I'll try to help people, to get health care. I'll try to help people from, just get off drugs. I'll try to help, stop child abuse. Why? Because I care. That's why. It's not for any other reason. So see, I don't care about the haters. I don't care about you at all, you haters. And I really do appreciate supporters, and we do too. Like the three of us really do appreciate all the people that support our work. And they have in the past, because I just came back with AU4H, and we've appreciated your support from going way back. So we've got a job to do.
But up until just a few days ago, we haven't heard anything negative or anything bad. We have been getting high marks. People are happy. People have been supportive, and not that I'm siding with any haters, because I'm not, because they were pretty nasty. I kind of see what some of the comments meant, because okay, you got these people, they don't think they need to be a role model, and okay, hey, you don't. But I kind of get the point where they're saying about, they don't like the whole scripted feel, because we've never been scripted before in the past, other than when we did the one particular radio station. But we kind of just, we said our piece and we left it at that. And if people liked it, they liked it. And if they didn't, they didn't. And I can remember different people giving backlash, and we literally laughed at them, okay, it is what it is. And I really think that that's what people were trying to say is, this isn't you three. You three are on there. You're reading from paper. You have your cheat sheet. She has her crib sheets. I see you looking down there. And I kind of get the feel like they were starting to think, okay, this is going to be another scripted radio show. You're not really being true to yourself. And last night, honestly, when we ended the show and we kept talking, it was like, hey, this is feeling bland, guys, and this is not me. And like, I'm not saying names, and I'm trying to tell stories, but I can't tell the whole story because I can't say this because I can't offend this person and I can't offend that person. And we just have to throw that out the window and just be who we are. And like I said, you're gonna have people love you and you're gonna have people that hate you, but we can't change the format or we can't change who we are because of our sponsors or our supporters. And in the past, we dealt with the love or we dealt with the hate, and it was okay. I'm not saying some of these people didn't pick apart hair and glasses and wardrobe and where you live either. But at the end of the day, I can kind of see what they're talking about because I'm not saying we were scripted, but even myself, I kind of felt scripted because I'm reading off of a crib sheet, and it's like, okay, I never did that before in my life. I just always went off the top of my head. And a few times in the shows, I got lost for words. And it was like, okay, I know we all have issues and that, and I do suffer from migraines. And there are times like, what you want to say, and you kind of like, okay, you lose the thought because that happens a lot, or it's there on the tip of your tongue, but you can't say it. But, like we always had a voice and we always said whatever we wanted to say, and we didn't care what the hell anybody thought. And I do know what they mean when they were saying you were starting to feel scripted. I didn't want to be scripted and I don't want to be in that category. That's why I'm like, we need to talk. We need to, hash this out, and we need to be who we are. And I think those comments put the fire back underneath us and got it burning again. And I think that these people are in for more than they bargained for. I truly do. You want it raw? You're going to see me raw. You're going to see us raw.
That's right.
But then when we're raw, we don't want to hear people cry and complain either, Laurie, because, there's always the criers. After they want something, you give it to them. Then they're crying, you're just too much or too raw.
Exactly, right? See, this is what I'm saying. You can't please everybody.
No.
And so basically what you do, advocates, like, see if
migraines. That's why I've got my hair short. A good part of that. I've got thick hair like Mama had. Which is good because my father started going bald early. I mean, I don't care. It's hair, it's recovering. But thick hair, and with the migraines and scalp sensitivity, the allodynia, never heard the word pronounced, so obviously I can't pronounce it properly. But it's a hypersensitivity and abnormal sensitivity to pain and stimuli that many of us with migraines get. And when I had hair, and I had beautiful long hair, and there's a part of me that misses that, but I don't miss it enough to grow it again. I mean, it was heavy, it was thick, and keeping this so very short, it helps me stay cooler, and it helps lessen, some of the pain, because the weight of your hair, when you've got migraines, and you've got thick hair, you've got long hair, putting it back in a ponytail or whatever, it's like it's still incredibly painful. So and this is so easy to care for, just wash the hair, towel it, and I'm done. A little bit of crude gel if I if I'm going somewhere and I need to do my hair a little bit, but most of the time it's just as is. But it's just so
I used to have my hair like please.
It's easier on the migraines. It really is.
It is, because I just had 10 inches taken off of mine. So I know it was really heavy, and it pulled and it added to mine. And I can't do the ponytail much anymore either.
I've had mine down almost to, the crack on my backside before. But that was in the mid 90s. And then I started cutting it real short. So, but I'm glad
I like the way it is.
It looks nice. And I've had long hair for a long time. I haven't cut it for a long time, but I used to have short hair.
I love it.
I used to work in kitchens.
So I've got this alfalfa going on here. I call it my cow the cow licky. But so, and there's not a lot I can do with that. But, it doesn't alter my decision to keep my hair short. I just do what I can with it, which isn't much,
Laurie,
I like it. I think it's cute.
Yeah. I'm happier with short hair.
It's
Yours
cute.
was short too, Laurie?
I had short hair like Lee's for a long time
did you?
because I used to cook in the kitchens. So I had almost like a buzz cut. It was even shorter than hers.
Oh, wow. I've only
And
known you since it's been long, so.
yeah, I haven't cut it short for a long time, but it used to be really short. Kind of looked
Oh,
like
wow.
Sinead O'Connor.
Oh, wow. I've
So
never
like
had
Sinead
hair
O'Connor.
that short.
Cecil, my husband, liked it. He was like, "You look better with short hair," he liked that. He's like, "You look younger with that, you look better." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I like my long hair because I can do things with,
Yeah,
like I can curl it or whatever. So anyway, the issue is we're not going to change because somebody doesn't like us. That's what
no.
we're saying. So in other words, if you don't like us, mosey on, change the channel. We don't care.
Move on down the road.
That's right. I mean, hey, we like people that like us. I love people that support me, and I'm always like, I support other people and other people doing things too. And um, it's great to support other people in what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's not just all about us. Like we obviously support other people in what they're doing, and it's great to be a supporter. And also, I mean, I appreciate the support, and all of us as a team appreciate the support. But we don't really care about the haters. You know what I'm saying? And we're not going to change just because somebody doesn't like something. We're doing what we're doing because we're working out a format for this AU4H radio, which we just started, as everybody knows, just a few shows ago. We're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. Lee is deaf. We've already said that on several shows. Actually, on all of them, I try to mention the fact that Lee is part of the deaf community.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody's actually listening, and Lee cannot hear us whatsoever. We have to type the information to her so she can be part of this show.
Yeah.
And so, because we know a little bit of sign, but we don't know a lot. And Lee is deaf. So, we do the best we can, right?
Yeah.
And we don't really care who doesn't really like it. Before we came on the show, I told these ladies I wasn't going to cuss because I was going to be like, you know what, if you don't like it, fuck off. That's what I've got to say. And now I'm going to say it because you know what? It's just so true, right? We really don't care.
What?
If you don't like it, go away.
Yeah.
We don't have time for you. You know what I'm saying? Because we're too busy. We're done here. We're just spending this time together here. But now what people don't realize is you just don't check what we're doing and you don't really know us all that well is the rest of the week we're going to be working on who we can help, how we can help, what we can do, what we can get involved with and working on the programs we have going. That's what we do. We don't have time to worry about all the haters.
No.
Haters can go away because we don't really care about you.
We all have so much going on in our own lives. We don't really care what anyone else thinks or says or does. We're so engrossed in our lives and helping others and doing what we can, that like it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who likes it or who doesn't. It's not going to change what we do. It's not going to change our need and our will to help other people. I mean, like I said, every time, in every show, I'm going to help until I can't help no more. Right. I'm going to do what I can do until I can't do no more. I'm going to keep talking until I can't talk anymore. I mean, that's just
what we said.
And if, like I said, you're going to have people that like, and I have a great group of supporters. I'm so thankful for them. We as a whole have a great group of supporters. Okay, we're going to weed out the few, but like I said, if you dislike something we're doing or something that we're saying, but don't dislike the fact that, you're worried about where we live or what we have, or that's just silly. It doesn't make any sense. You can't not like somebody because, you're there saying they have a cushiony life. You don't know where I've been. You don't know what I've been through, and you don't know anything about me, but you're suggesting that I was born with this silver spoon. And, that is not the reality that we live in.
That's right. And I mean, anybody who follows my work already knows my situation. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I brought that up, because it's kind of like, we do have some great support from people that do know who we are, and they know how hard we work and how dedicated we are. And we're always going to have people that don't like what we're doing, and that's why we don't care. So in other words, basically what I'm saying is, for all the people that don't like what we're doing, we just want you to know that we personally don't give a two hoots about you. You can just move on down the road because we have better things to do.
That's what I said. if you don't like it, keep going. No one's asking you to tune in. No one's asking you to listen. No one's asking you to read what we write or, listen to what we say, or we're not forcing anybody. We're not, making people do it. They can pass by. And if you have time in your day to sit there and write out a hate letter about where someone lives or what they look like or how many times they fit their glasses, then the problem's with you, not anybody else.
That's exactly right. So big shout out for supporters.
And I am very thankful. We have a great group of supporters. We have a great team of ambassadors. I mean, at the end of the day, I really don't care about a few nasty comments. I mean, earlier today, I was ready to come on here and be like, okay, all of you. And it was like, you're trying, but they're finding something this big and they're trying to pick it apart. And, why would you want to take 3 women that are really like trying to make a difference and trying to do good things and that are really, honestly, in our own lives, we're good people. All of us are good people. We go above and beyond to help every and anyone. And just to sit there and try to nitpick and find things wrong with because of what someone looks like or what they have or where they live or what car they drive or, hey, that watch you had one was nice. It was expensive. You could feed some homeless. Like, you don't have no idea what I do to help feed the homeless or to help children. So you're judging me on a watch? Come on.
Yeah. It's just, and the thing is, it's just pathetic. It's kind of the people that say stuff like that. It's kind of like if somebody, was to say something like that, well, how come you don't just sell everything you have and give it to the homeless? You can't help somebody when you need the help. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, for instance, you give away everything that you have, and then you are now in need of help, and you caused more problems than you fixed. The idea is to bring up people out of poverty. So the issue is
exactly.
if people are concerned because you have a watch, then they need to go, F off, because who cares if you have a watch? Good for you that you have a watch. Right?
There was a comment picking on my watch, and it's like, you don't know how many times I've been places and I have taken like bracelets off or a ring off and given it to somebody that didn't have anything. Like, and I didn't want nothing back. I didn't want nothing in return. I don't even, how many times when you guys say to me, thank you, and I'll be like, not needed, like, I'm that person. I don't need thanks. I don't need anyone to like fly all over me because I do something good. That's not who I am. Many times, like I said, when I do something with you guys will be like, oh, thanks. I'm like, not needed, like we're sisters, we're family. But like these people are like picking apart things, and it's like, that's silly. Like, you don't have a watch or you don't have a nice car, or, I mean, you're trying to pick things apart, and you're missing the point that we're out here, we're giving our time, we're helping people. And I'll be real honest, for the last couple shows that we have done, I feel like I'm sitting here like a statue because I'm afraid to move. I'm afraid to take a drink because, we get these comments coming in. Well, you took a drink 4 times. My mouth got dry. We've been on here for 2 hours, or
just be glad we're not picking our nose or something.
And last night when we got ready to sign off, the 3 of us were sitting there as statues, smiling at the camera, waiting for the show to end. And it's going through my mind like, what the hell are we doing? Like, this is not us. Like, I'm sorry, I can't sit still that much. And I talk with my hands. And the people that let me know that I talk with my hands, I know it. It's a habit. And no, I'm not Italian, but I love Italian food, and like,
I do too, actually.
It's the craziest comments that we're getting. It has nothing to do with what we're doing.
I know, it's kind of like, whatever, grow up,
You're
a nuisance. I hate that kind of stuff because it's so ignorant, and it's like, it just shows me how stupid they really are. It's like, are you really that dumb? Oh my God. Like, really, then go away. Because, we're dealing with stuff that's just so much more important than that crap. And the thing is if everybody would stop that nonsense and actually get involved and help, this world would be at a better place instead of being a nitpicking whatever.
A nitpicking
Yeah, Nini, that's what I was looking for. It's like, it's like, go be productive. Do something with your time. You know what I mean? That's useful, that's going to help somebody instead of worried about what somebody's doing. It's like, give me a break,
What
Like,
I
that's
want to
just,
know is what I want to know is who has time to sit through, watch, or listen to a show and then spend an hour going on the internet to look up an organization to send them information saying, I didn't like this about you, or I didn't like that about you. And it's like, so what did you think of the show? And
it has nothing to do with what we were talking about or what we do.
It's like your comment had nothing to do with the show. So I'm asking you, you spent all that time to watch us, to listen to us, to look us up and to write us. So what did you think of the show? Am I wrong?
Because they probably didn't even watch it. That's the issue. I've had people do that to my work too, because most of the stuff that I do is video. And nowadays, I used to do mostly audio, but now it's video because I'm not on BTR, Blog Talk Radio anymore. And so, I got people doing stuff like that. And that they'll actually ask questions. They'll be like, so what about this and what about that? And I answered that in the video.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you would have watched it and really paid attention, you would have heard what I was saying, and you wouldn't be asking this really stupid question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's like,
I personally, I love doing radio, and because you could be comfortable. I mean, before I come on here, like my hair was like this, and back when we did radio, it was okay.
The haters, naysayers, and those negative people, they want you to waste your energy on them, and
I won't.
We're not going to do that. We've got better things to do with our time, with our energy, and it's not going to happen. Keep hating, keep walking, keep strolling, keep scrolling, whatever, I want to say something before we end up wrapping the show, because it has to do with extreme temperatures, because I know that, granted, I live in Northwest Florida currently, so right now it's been raining for a couple of days. It's supposed to rain through the weekend. But I'm talking about like where you are, Laurie, and Donna, the extreme weather, the temperatures, the sub-zero chill, the even when it's not sub-zero, it's single digits, and it's freezing cold. And I've been holding on to not sharing a particular post on Facebook because I've had to get myself together because I was so incredibly livid, to put it very mildly, at what I read. A friend had shared it, and some people don't even deserve to have a plant or a pet rock. And if you hear it barking, and this is my boy, I'm saying, come here.
Otis.
Otis. My little buddy.
Otis. There's Otis.
In the extreme temperatures, with this cold weather, I mean, you're certainly not going to be able to, be outside for any length of time, and sleep outside. These animals depend upon us to take care of them. They take care of us, but we also need to take proper care of them. And if you can't be a responsible pet owner, then don't be an owner. Really,
That's right.
not, a little bit of this. It's all the way, and animals for life. The post that I'm referring to is that someone didn't bring the animals inside. There was on the side of the road, someone had found a doghouse, and it not only had a dog in it, but it was a mama who had puppies, and they were all found frozen to death. And I'm so flippin' angry because that was preventable. This stuff is preventable. There was no reason for those animals to die. They were neglected by some bleep, bleepity, bleep, blank, blank,
Yeah,
that's my girl.
Choice words there.
I was going to say,
and all they had to do, they didn't want to take care of them because it's a mom with puppies. Maybe she had puppies. I don't know, Well, first of all, spay and neuter your animals. There are free and low-cost clinics. And if you can't get help with one of those, or if you still need help, there are people out there to reach out to. Some organizations have a special voucher program.
Yeah.
I've actually used those programs in the past. You spay and neuter your animal when they're old enough to do so. You take proper care of them. And when it's extreme weather out, whether it be snowing like it is now in extreme cold weather temperatures, or if we're the opposite in, the middle of August and you're worse than the Sahara Desert, you need to bring those animals in.
That's
Maybe
right.
an outside dog. Okay, fine, good. A lot of dogs, there are dog breeds that prefer it outside. But when the temperatures are like that, you bring the animal inside. Don't worry about your stupid rug. Don't worry about your floors getting muddy or a muddy paw on the couch. I mean, hello. If you're going to be that worried about it, don't have an animal.
That's exactly right.
My animal dogs,
This is just it.
I just have this little guy here.
Look at him, Otis. He's so sweet.
Chihuahua that has blessed my life.
He's so
had animals all my life. And, you take care of them. Bring them inside. Don't let them suffer. Don't chain them to a tree and leave them outside with, an occasional bowl of water and food whenever you think about it. I had a former neighbor many years ago that I ended up, bringing that beautiful dog into my home. Now, she was terrified of storms, but these people would not do anything, and they would throw her like greasy leftovers, and it's just sad. And there was a storm, and once I finally got her to understand that, yes, storm, come in, you can come in, I mean, just check, I'd have a little mini, beach spot full of sand by the door. But I mean, you can sweep that up, you can vacuum things up. And from then on, she realized, oh, I can come in. There's a storm. I don't have to quiver underneath the trailer, and you'll give me real food, not greasy junk. Your leftovers, there was a storm and I wasn't home. I came home and there was part of the door that was bent because she was trying to get in the house on a storm. Bless her heart. But, be a responsible animal owner.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Be a responsible Be a responsible person on the planet. That's what's wrong with this whole world. There's so many idiots out here doing this stuff, thinking that it's okay. And it's great when they get busted. I love it when they bust people doing this stuff. I'm like, yeah, get them. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you don't deserve to not be busted for that abuse. I don't care. Animals, humans, children. There's no excuse for abuse.
No.
None
Never.
whatsoever. And I'm telling you, we're going to keep talking about this stuff, and we don't care who doesn't like it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If you don't like it, too bad. Go away. And that's all I'm saying, because I was really grumpy. Now, the next show that we do, I won't be grumpy. This show,
we're going to be grumpy.
You want to see the real people? Well,
Excuse me.
You don't want to see the real me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's me. It's on turbo. Turbo max in your face, and I'm not going to stoop that low. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We're not going to come on here and be as low as people will stoop and go. You know what I mean? No, we're going to maintain our integrity. We are who we are. If you don't like us, we don't personally care. You know what I'm saying? We're not here for you. We're here to make a difference with the people that do care, and there are people that do care, and those are the people we're talking to. So, thanks for to everybody for all of your support. Anybody who's ever supported and liked any of our stuff, anybody who's taken the time to share our stuff, we appreciate it. We really do.
We do.
And for the haters, we don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. We're not changing for you. We're not changing for anybody. And I don't have to sit and tell people why I care. You know what I mean? I don't have to sit and try to explain myself why I actually care and think that people shouldn't abuse children. Give me a freaking break. If you don't know that already, then you seriously have your head shoved up your ass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, if you're one of these people that just doesn't get it, then you'll probably never get it. So go on, go watch something else. We're busy, right?
I completely agree with you.
Yeah, we're busy and we got things to do, and we're going to be very, very busy. Like I said, we got stuff going on. We're busy all the time. We work steady at this stuff, and we just decided to do these shows to try to raise awareness and to get people involved, right? So thanks for all your support to all of our real friends from Real Talk Radio, AU4H Radio. That's right. Because we have some really good friends, and we have some really good people who support us, and we do appreciate it. So ladies, I guess we'll sign off. That's it.
All right. Thank you both. I'll see you soon.
That's right. We'll see you guys next time. And, maybe I'll be in a better mood. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. But anyway, have a great night, everybody. Take really
Good night,
good care of
everyone.
yourself.
Thank you.
God bless you. Bye-bye.